Today, in this video, we will learn about what are CTE or common table expressions in SQL Server. So whenever you come across scenarios where you do not want to create a new table or a view and just want to have a temporary result set which almost look like a table and can be used immediately for some SQL operations. CTEs are one such most powerful feature used in SQL Server. It has been introduced in SQL Server 2005. It is basically a temporary because its result cannot be stored anywhere and will be lost as soon as the query execution. So let's learn about what exactly is CTE. So the definition of CTE is it is a one-time result set that only exists for the duration of a query. It allows to refer a data within a single select, insert, update or delete, create view or in the merge statements. So there are basically two types of CTEs, recursive and non-recursive CTEs. So let's look at the syntax of a CTE. Syntax is very simple, like with expression name. Expression name is nothing but the CTE name that we provide and the list of columns which we want to display in that CTE. And then after closing the bracket, we give a keyword as and then CTE query definition. In the below example, you can see that we have provided a CTE name and after the with column, with keyword, we have given the columns employee ID and employee name. So this is basically the optional. You can either give the column names or you can define the column names from the inner select query itself. And then the query definition lies inside the brackets. Like here I am just selecting select employee ID and employee name from table employee. And then after that, we are just writing a single select query to display the list of or the columns of this CTE employees underscore list. So this is basically the simple CTE example. And let's try to explore this using select query or SQL query. So I basically have two tables, employee and the department. My employee table contains a list of employees, its department name or employee ID names, and then the salary. My table database is LearnText SQL and my table is employee. So I have employee ID, employee name, manager ID, hire date, salary and department ID. And there is another table, department, which consists of department number or department name and then the location. Now, in order to create a CTE among these two tables, what we can do is like we can just start writing with the CTE name that I want to provide. Let's say my CTE name is employee underscore CTE. My list of columns that I want to display, employee ID or an employee name. It is employee name, and then I will just give an as the select query will be SQL CTE definition will be inside this bracket. What I will display is I will just fetch employee ID and employee name from my salary table, employee table. Employee name from employee table. So this is basically this select query gives me the list of employee ID and employee name from the employee table. This result set will be stored in CTE just for a temporary purpose. It doesn't store in anywhere in the database or like anything. And what I can do is like I'll immediately whatever operation SQL operation I perform, I can use the CTE in that operation. Let's say I want to select employee ID and employee name from the CTE that has been provided. So this is basically the simple query, CTE query, where I'm pulling employee ID and employee name not from the employee table but from the CTE that I have just created. So this is simple CTE or a simple select query, wherein there are multiple scenarios like where we need to fetch the data from multiple tables. Here we have got two tables and I just wanted to display the employee name, employee ID, employee name, and I also wanted to display the department names where those employees have been working. So how can I write that using CTE, where I will just type the CTE with keyword and then employee department CTE, the name. My column lists are just optional. I can just skip it here. I'll just give the as keyword, and here in the inside I'll just write down the select. I want employee ID, employee name, and then I also want the department name where I have the department table. I just wanted to pull out the department name from the table is employee. I'll just give an alias to this. I'll also join my department table where I have got department ID is being associated or linked to my employee table. So I am just joining my department table, department D on E dot department ID equals D dot department number. So this is basically the select query where I can see the employee ID, employee name and department name is being fetched from the inner query of the select, wherein this entire thing is being called out with a single CTE. Now here, if I want to call a CTE, I can just type select star from the CTE name that I have created. So here we can modify the inner query or try to fetch as the way that we want to fetch the data using one table or multiple table. We can use different functions inside the inner query of CTE, wherein we can pull out the desired result set or desired output into the CTE, so that the query becomes simpler and can use the ready-made result set immediately after the CTE has been defined. So in some cases we will need to create multiple CTE queries. So this is just a one CTE query where I'm just fetching data from these two tables, and this is one CTE name. Like what happens is, like in some scenarios, like we want to create multiple CTE queries and join them together to see the results. Like here we are just creating one CTE and we are just pulling the data from one CTE. Like in scenarios like we want to create multiple CTEs and want to join those two CTEs and form a one result set. How can we do that? We need to use the comma separator or to create multiple CTE queries. So here I am just using with, and then this is one CTE name. I am just giving as, and then the inner query for this CTE, wherein if I want to create one more CTE with the same with clause, I just have to give one comma, and then I will just try to give one more CTE name as like department location. As what I will do here is, in the inner query I will just try to pull select department ID or department number, comma, location from my department table. Here what happens is I'm just fetching the department number and location from the department, and I don't have my location in above CTE, whereas I have got two CTE names and I just want to get the result of employee ID, employee name, department name, and then the location using these two cities. Obviously I can pull out the department location or the department names outside CTE as well without using a CTE name and just joining the table department. But in order to just explore the CTE examples, we are just using this example. Now here I just wanted to fetch like select employee ID, comma, employee name, and I just wanted to just find the location. I don't want to display the department name in this result set. From I will give CTE1, the one that I have just created. I'll just give an alias to this, or I will just take a department ID as well, wherein I want to give the I want to join the two CTs. I just wanted to have one common column between two CTs. Here I'm just using employee department CTE, inner join, then I will use the second CTE D. Here I'll just try to join these two CTEs on E dot department ID equals D dot department number. Now let's see the result. See, I have got employee ID, employee name, and then the location by using the two CTEs, CTE1 and the CTE2. This way we can use multiple CTEs inside single with clause. This would be considered as a single CTE. All right. And then there is one more example, like where we want to fetch the data from multiple using multiple select queries. Even after we are just creating one CTE, and we want to either join the result using some basic conditions like using where clauses or something like that. So let's say I'm just using single CTE out here, where I'm just pulling out the employee ID, employee name, department name, and then the department ID. And here I'm just trying to select employee ID, comma, employee name, comma, and then the department name. Okay, from employee ID. So this becomes one select query, right? Here I'm just if I just wanted to apply the conditions, I just wanted to pull out the departments where my department name is just accounting. I don't want to pull out the other department names. I just apply the where department name equals accounting. This way I can just, it is D name. This way I can just get the result of my employees where the the department is just accounting. In this way, if I want to pull out another select query using the same CTE, how can I just apply? I can just apply union all. I will use the same query, and now here I just wanted to pull out the employee names whose department is research. Okay, this way we can also use union all. Now here we can see this, there is one CTE and we are using two select queries. So as I said earlier, even one select query is been applied as soon as then the CTE, the existence of CTE is been lost. But here the entire select query, including this union all, considered as one select query. All right, so this way we can explore CTE in multiple ways. It's very powerful feature where we can minimize the performance of the server, and also it is easy to use compared to joins and all these things. So that is basically the CTE. All right, if you just like the video, please subscribe to the channel. All right, thank you.